I hear that completely. And I want to say very, very clearly, I think everyone's worth is infinite, right? So someone can have, multi whatever zeros after their name in the bank account, and the other person can have zeros. And they are completely the same in the eyes of God. They are infinite. The infinite value of the human soul is so beyond anything in this physical world. It's all the same. Yes. Everyone is godly, and that value exceeds anything that we could possibly perceive. That being said, what do we need to have? What vessels do I need to have to fulfill my spiritual mission in this world? I'm really grateful to have a big home so that I can have guests and I can have people sleep in my house and I can host gatherings that are meaningful to me. And I'm really grateful to be able to live where I want to live and, all of the things that I need to do what I'm supposed to do in this world. And so I pray every day that God will continue to finance my life and that I will also have the courage to offer whatever I need to offer in order to allow that to happen.
Right.
So I do think that it can take courage. I think it brings different things. Our needs in the physical world, I think, are here to bring things out of us. I don't think that everybody needs to want to have a lot of money. It's
Right.
just completely a personal choice. But I think it's worth evaluating what are our beliefs about money.
Yeah.
I think
I,
there's a lot of intergenerational trauma. I meet a lot of people with, money in the bank who think a lot about how to save and how to, prepare for the cold winter in Russia that doesn't exist anymore. So there's that. And, a whole host of other, I think, money related beliefs. And I think that with money beliefs or beliefs about ourselves or our life, it's so worth getting to know what you believe on a subconscious level, even if it's uncomfortable, right? Even if I have to sit in silence and start noticing, ooh, wow, like there's that guilty thought, or there's that self loathing thought, or there's that fearful thought, or the scarcity, all the uncomfortable stuff is worth noticing in order to evaluate it because we got to move through it, right? If we ignore it, we pretend it's not there, it's not going anywhere. But if we're conscious of it and we can give ourselves the space and the really like the equanimity just to look at it objectively and work on it, I think that we can let go of all of that energy that doesn't need to be there and open up the channels to give and also receive.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that was so beautifully said, and I'm so excited for anybody that's going to hear this, because
Yeah.
it's just as simple as what you said. What are your beliefs about yourself, and what are your beliefs about life? If we just simplify things, and you start to notice, this is how I'm seeing things. This is my blueprint. I can change my blueprint. I can change the way that I've been set up. I have certain agreements with reality that I've accepted as a child, or the way that I was raised, my nature and my nurture, and that doesn't have to be that way for the entirety of my life. And it's good that they were there because they served me till now, and now I can start to notice and then even make shifts and changes. And I think what you said in the very beginning of that, how abundance really allows for so much more in one's life, meaning scarcity isn't just a problem of the mind, but when you don't have things, so now you're actually caught up in areas of life that don't allow you to fully express. There's a great Gemara that says, interestingly, pointing out that all the prophets were wealthy. It says to be a prophet, prophecy and wealth are connected. They're meant to be connected because spiritual expansion and physical abundance are a reflection. And then after the destruction of the Second Temple, then there's a split, right? And now one can have one without the other. But interestingly, Rabbi Nachman points out that for people who do not have a healthy relationship with money, now that they're separated, but they're only separated externally. Internally, they're always there. And that's why if you don't have a healthy relationship with money, what ends up happening is people start to lose it, right? People can get very afraid, driven to say and do things that, under regular circumstances, billionaires, some billionaires do things that are so erratic and so crazy, right? You wonder, like, well, where's that coming from? Like, you're this like super successful person. And Rabbi Nachman says it's because there's a deep connection to spiritual well-being, to money. And therefore, if you're not working on the spirit side in your connection to wealth, you start to do things that are a little bit off because they're so connected at the root. And therefore, for me, what I walk away with, from this is the truth behind spiritual growth and inner wellness is, yes, it's supposed to reflect in abundance in the world. That's how it's meant to be reflected, because it allows for so much. Avram Avinu was wealthy. That's why he was able to do everything he was able to do, right? Yaakov Avinu's got this massive family. He's got a huge entourage. He's able to do what he's able to do, right? The idea, which I also well said, of I forget the exact language you used,
intergenerational trauma.
Intergenerational trauma. I like that language. In people's relationship to wealth or money or abundance, that's work that our generation and future generations have to undo, right? We have to undo that because that's not, it's a false narrative of whether or not money is good or bad. And I feel very blessed that my parents raised me with a consciousness that, like, money is a very positive thing, wealth is a positive thing, abundance is a positive thing, and one shall not be shamed, to have a big meal at their house and be able to invite a lot of people over. That's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. And although the power can be channeled the wrong way, and yes, there are all the other things that are connected to it, that has nothing to do with the essence of the channeling. It's really, all money is at the end of the day is energy. It's potential.
Yes.
That's what it is. So you can channel the energy in one direction or another direction. And I'm sure what you do in your home is beautiful and great and amazing, and it only adds to the light of the world. So
Bezrat Hashem. It's definitely a journey. It's coming to terms with, what money beliefs have we been raised with, what beliefs we've been raised with all together, and this individuation, figuring out like you had that vision, Rabbi, what do I want in my life 10 years from now? And you really crystal clear. It was there. You saw it. It's a vision that we can only create if we've been exposed to it. So I hope that we all have an abundance of exposure to the infinite possibility that our lives in this world can be when we collaborate.
Amazing.